I don't want to be no damn pillar, especially a pillar made of sand. I don't like sand. It's coarse and rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere. I'm John Renton with my review of AEW Collision from Newark, New Jersey. We're live in New Jersey. That's a very depressing sentence to think about. But nevertheless, after last week's terrific wrestling show, especially that 2 out of 3 falls match, I have that saved on my DVR, and I rewatched it because it was so goddamn good. That is my match of the year. We get this show that actually had some good story building, but honestly wasn't going to match the peaks, the very, very perky little tweakable peaks of last week's show. Nevertheless, it was fine for what it was. I do like the Saturday night main event style pre-tapes. And then Starks arrives in a big old fancy car with some new gear and a new wardrobe, really, because he wasn't in his gear, at least not until the main event. Shivani brings out Starks, and he's all jubilant. He's all happy. Da 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 da. It's the winner, Ricky Starks. And he got a lot of pyro. My God, he got Kevin Nash from the Finger Poke of Doom episode of Nitro levels of pyro. Insane amounts of pyro. So much pyro was cutting out the audio. That was kind of funny. You deserve a chance. And he says, yeah, you don't really need to tell me what I deserve. He praises the fans first and then he cuts them right down. So basically he's a full-blown heel again. And you know what? That's all right because he got really over with, going into the Winter is Coming match with MJF and coming out of that feud with Chris Jericho. I mean, people still like Ricky, but Jericho once again leeching off of somebody, leeching every last bit of energy off of them. And he's got a Louis Vuitton bag, but there's nothing in it. And he did exactly what anyone else would have done in that situation. Won by any means necessary. And I don't want to be no damn pillar. Then here's Punk. No music, but just booze, and then some cheers. Because it's a split crowd. I will say this, CM Punk is going to be the focal point of so much diversity among the fans, or so much divisiveness, rather, among the fans. It's going to be a very diverse reaction, as it were, because there are people that love him, there are people that hate him. I enjoy what he provides, while recognizing that he is very polarizing. I'm still a fan of his, but I totally get. I will say that had it not been for Punk coming back, Collision wouldn't be a thing. And we wouldn't have gotten things like that 2 out of 3 falls match. But yes, maybe I will try to marry that match in, some kind of weird country. Shut up. So he tells Ricky he's proud of him, knocks the New Jersey Devils, to be fair. I mean, they're all pucking crazy over there. And they compare bag sizes, and he says, you want a shot of what's in the bag, or you just like Max, and you just don't want me to have it. And he's the real world's champ, and maybe we can find out and everything. And then, because during this time, actually, Punk had left, and then Starks kept going at him, and then Punk decided to come back. Now, this is when it started to go a little bit long, because Christian and Luchasaurus are here. What kind of a man carries a championship around like he won it when he didn't? And then here's Darby. He praises Punk when it seemed like he was going to praise Ricky. And knocks Luchasaurus, and we're going to get a main event tag. I will say that there was good verbiage. There was good, good dialogue here. Everybody was able to shoot from the hip. But this felt very WWE Attitude Era, Ruthless Aggression Era, where, yes, it accomplished something, it set up something, but this felt very, very WWE-like. And while I like some of it, I didn't like that. I didn't like getting those feelings because this went long. This went pretty goddamn long. And we had a card rundown right after security earlier today kicked out Andrade El Olio out of the building. He wants his mask, but damn it, you can't have it yet. Gotta wait till next week. So we get Darius Martin and Action Andretti, who did beat Chris Jericho once upon a time, and has he meant anything since? Not really. Not a bad athlete, and Darius isn't bad, and considering that Dante is out for a considerable amount of time, I imagine, with his leg doing the Joe Theismann deal at a Ring of Honor pay-per-view. Team him up and have him face off against White Juice with the guns. And the bell rang 22 minutes in, and while I understand they can't start with action every single time, that was kind of one of the things I didn't like about this show, is the long, promo segment, even with some good, dialogue back and forth. This was fine. I didn't really care for it, though. It was just there. It almost felt like it should have been on Rampage. Uh, Juice hit the, left hand of God, and then they hit a couple other moves. He hit that, pendulum DDT, and then Blade Runner 1, 2, 3. So they just destroyed Action Andretti at the end. Thanks for beating Chris Jericho, kid. Now you're going to get beaten for the rest of your goddamn career. And the Guns joined a brief beatdown. And Nigel, I believe, said women's competition has been top of the mind in AEW. Has it? Has it really? No. Nick Comoroto jumped Miro. They had a match, and where's Nick Comoroto been? I have not seen him on any program in months. And they stopped doing the AEW YouTube shows a while ago. Has he been on Ring of Honor? I have questions. I genuinely have questions. I have no idea where he's been. He gets in the shots, but then Miro hits the kick, game over, pulls the hand back to make sure he can't reach the ropes and gets the victory. And then FTR package to hype up next week. Also the fact that FTR is going to be showing up. And so we're just gonna keep rolling along here. The House of Brack show up, Mother, along with Julia Hart. They took on the Acclaimed and Billy, don't be a hero. It's the AEW Trios Championships, and man, the good guys got laid out. I did kind of like, though, Caster got his rap cut off because Buddy, but I think tired of the stuff about, Rhea and everything. I mean, I'm sure this was gone over in the back, but boy, that was a rush job. Buddy's like, I've had it. I'm just going to rush him, and they beat the shit out of him. Eventually, Caster manages to tag Billy. He's almost 60. I noted, he's doing well, and then he got hit with the Black Mass really quickly. 1, 2, 3. That was just an obliteration. They just destroyed them. And it looks like they were giving respectability or talking to him and saying something to him, and then he takes off his boots and leaves him in the ring. I guess it's good to be done with an act before it gets too stale. But that's a bit surprising. Maybe Billy feels that he's done everything he can. I mean, honestly, he's almost 60. He doesn't really need to be doing this anymore if he doesn't want to. Maybe they get him out of retirement for like one more match, and they send the fans home happy, and Billy gets to go out on his terms, or maybe this is something he wanted to do. I have no idea. And then Shivani brings out FTR. They get a pop. The Bucks got booed when they got mentioned because we're talking about actual tag teams here, actual good wrestlers. And that they have unfinished business with MJF. But the crowd cheers MJF and Adam Cole, baby. MJF basically reminds Dax of a lot of spoiled rich kids. That had all the money in the world and picked on him when he had a job, okay? Not the best rendition of that Gwen Stefani song. Let's move on. And they will win next week. It's going to be tough, though. I don't really know how you call this, because FTR could keep the tag titles, and I'd be fine with it. But with the way they built up MJF and Cole, I don't know. So then we get the Blood and Guts recap. If you want to really hear what I thought of that complete abomination, check out my Dynamite review. At about 9 minutes in, I pretty much spend the last 10 or so minutes of that review just going nuts. Sky Blue took on Taya Valkyrie. Okay, shout out to the creep that was apparently filming Sky Blue for a full minute or two, or pretty much the whole goddamn match. And look, Sky Blue is a beautiful woman. There is no doubt about that. And yes, the gear accentuates what she wants to get attention. I mean, she does. She knows what the fans come for, literally and figuratively. Sky Blue also has improved in the ring, so you can have both, guys. You can enjoy her improvement in the ring and also enjoy the fact that the gear accentuates such things. But, yeah, that was a bit creepy. That guy filming for that long. I mean, look, no doubt. Looking at Sky, looking at Taya. Two talented, beautiful women. And doing what they could. This match was fine for what it was. Sky has improved in the ring. I don't really know what they're doing with Taya. I mean, and I like that they're giving her some wins, but it seems like after that Jade feud, they kind of just stumbled from there. She's better as a heel. There was a nice German drop that she had, running through the ropes, and that was fine. And then she ends up winning with a stomp. It wasn't a bad match. It wasn't a great match. I mean, that's all I gotta say. Ty then cuts a promo on Jersey and says she'll keep climbing back up the ladder. She won. Britt won on Dynamite, but against, basically, without saying jobber. She beat a jobber. Come play with me, Britt Baker. Never mind. Would watch. Okay, that was terrible. But no, Ty Valkyrie. Her versus Britt. That'll certainly be interesting. I will say that much. If Ty is a magician, she might be able to get something out of Britt. Dynamite plugs we get Orange Cassidy and AR Fox. Darby and Swerve. Britt versus Taya. Pac versus Gravity because it hasn't forgotten him. Guess which one of those matches I'm not going to bother watching. You shouldn't have to try hard to figure it out. Also, Moxley and Claudio against the Best Friends against the Lucha Bros. Okay, so guess which of those... I mean, hey, they announced the whole thing. I'll give them that much credit. Collision, by the way, Buddy and Andrade El Olio are going to be in a ladder match. They announced that in the after one of the breaks in the main event tag. Oh boy, ladder match. I haven't seen one of those in about a month. FTR against Cole and MJF. And then Darius in action and El Hijo del Viking. The Viking man can because he does a bunch of flips on Juice and the Guns. And the entrances for the main event start at 6:28. I'm not going to get into a long discussion about this one. Punk and Darby against Starks and Christian. I did note that Christian Cage has maybe 10 matches left. He can't really go anymore. He can't. He hasn't really been able to go in the last couple of years. I know he got injured, and I know Father Time is on his goddamn back. It comes for everybody. Gross. But he ain't got anything left. The tank is empty. He does great promos. The crowd was booing Punk. Some were cheering Punk. There was good tag work here. Scorpio's up in the sky box. They built up to Darby getting a tag, and then Darby got beat up for a while. Luchasaurus stopped Darby when Darby tried to do a dive. And then later, Starks pulled Punk off the apron and stopped Darby from getting a tag. But then Punk got in, hit a couple body slams, did some good stuff, did a Bam Bam cartwheel. And then Darby got tagged again. Rochambeau for 2 after a brutal spear that clipped Darby's knee. And a Scorpion off the top for 2, a GTS outside. But Luchasaurus stops Darby, and Starks gets a roll-up, gets the bottom rope, 1, 2, 3, and gets the victory. So there we are. That's it for Collision. So, not next week, but the August 5th edition, because I reviewed WWE, AEW, and on occasion New Japan. The August 5th one will probably not be up until Sunday afternoon at least, because I'm going to have a lot of work and a lot of wrestling to watch. But next week, should be watching it, and also check out the upcoming review of Talk to Me that I will have sometime Thursday night, Friday morning, because by the time you see next week's episode, that review will be up, and I'm looking forward to being scared. I really hope that Collision continues to be pretty much the best wrestling program going on, because it's wrestling-centric and actually focuses on the action and does good stuff. So agree, disagree with what I said, like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Rickland. I'll see you soon.